everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel for another episode of those 90s dolls. And these are sort of late 80s, early 90s dolls. You may recognize these lovely ladies as Mattel's Little Miss dolls. And I've done a video in the past on the Little Miss Mermaid. Well, these are the Little Miss makeups. So here on the very left-hand side, I have my original Little Miss makeup. She was originally released in 1988, and this is mine from when I was a child. She's in pretty good condition. I'm just missing her shoes, unfortunately. In the middle, we have another Little Miss makeup, and I have an interesting story about her. A neighborhood dog dragged this Little Miss up into my great-grandmother's yard, and my great-grandmother took her inside, cleaned her up, made her a dress, which I still have the dress that my great-grandma made, but the outfit she's wearing now is an original Little Miss ballet outfit. So this is an original fashion for the doll. Also, she's missing shoes. And then this doll to the far right here is Little Miss Dress Up, and she came out in the 90s. I believe I have a Mattel catalog, which I'll show you some photos from later, a 1990 Mattel catalog that features this girl. And I just picked her up a couple of weeks ago at the flea market, and she was disgusting. I mean, she had filth everywhere. It looked like she'd been sitting in a vat of motor oil. But for $1, I just couldn't leave her there because her face paint was so sweet and her hair was uncut and gorgeous. And my friend Leah had just sent me this outfit, original Little Miss fashion 90 in the box. And I thought, what better way to display this outfit than on a new doll? And you can see the Little Miss Dress Up, which is the one that I just got here on the packaging for the outfit. So this was the 90, and you can see, I'm gonna flip it over. This is what the front of the packaging looked like. And I just love all these sweet Mattel packages from the 90s. I love the sweet faces of these dolls. They're just so gorgeous. Now, one thing about the dolls though, the back of the heads are all stamped 1988, 1977. So I have not been able to track down why there would be a 1977 mark. I know Mattel reuses molds a lot of times, but I could not find any other dolls that share these face molds. So I'm wondering if the mold was originally done in 77 and just was never used until 1988 with Little Miss makeup. Now, the big draw to these dolls is that their makeup changes. You can change it. They would come with wands with sponges, and you could change it with hot and cold water. Now, I'm going to show you on these dolls, which most of them don't really function anymore. I'm going to show you how it looks with mine. But before that, let's watch a commercial for Little Miss Dress Up so you can see how it's actually supposed to look in action.
Oh, wow, look at this. From the magical world of blue.
Wow, how'd you change your outfit?
This is Little Miss Dress Up. That's how.
But how'd you do that?
Little Miss Dress Up has a magical outfit.
Wow.
It changes color, so I can dress her all kinds of different ways. She's got a magical ponytail that changes color too.
She's amazing.
Little Miss Dress Up. Oh, wow.
Little Miss Dress Up dolls sold separately come with color change outfit and wallets you fill with warm and ice water from Mattel.
Okay, so now that you've seen how it's really supposed to work in the commercial, let's start with my original doll. And even when I was a kid, I never could quite get the patience down for using the sponge wands that they came with, so I always went straight to a block of ice. So I'm gonna pull her back a little bit here, and I'm gonna show you sort of how she doesn't really work anymore. So I rub this across her lips, and they do get a little bit pinker, it looks like, but I've got a cloth here. They're really not changing. Also, you can see very faintly the yellow mark from the heart. So if I put some ice on that, again, we're not really seeing anything show up here. And she should have some eyeshadow and blush up here. Whoops, I just dropped that ice cube. Good thing I got a whole bucket full of them. And we really get nothing with her, and it's because I think that the paint over time just doesn't work anymore. And I will also show you on her fingernails. The fingernails should change as well. And they're not really, they do nothing, unfortunately. So, just to show you, you were supposed to change it back with hot water. So I have a small dish here of hot water that I got boiling hot. And I'm gonna just wipe it across, and that would have cleared away the makeup. But of course, her makeup never appeared, so there's nothing to clear away. And that's how these things go with these old dolls. And she wasn't stored in any sort of temperature controlled. You know, she was in my attic for a while. She moved around with me. I mean, I'm 36 now. I got the doll probably in 88, 89 when she came out. So she's an old doll. And when you don't take care of these sorts of changing mechanisms, they don't work anymore. So I'm gonna set her to the side and let's test out the doll that showed up at my great grandma's house and see if she still works. Now I actually haven't given her a test, so I don't know, she might work, but you can see she's missing a good bit of paint on that lower lip. So she's got a really big paint rub. So I'm gonna sort of rub this across here and see if we get any sort of anything. And maybe there's a little bit of something there. And then you can see her heart and blush here. We'll rub that. Oh, she does blush up a little bit. So that blush did get a little bit darker, I would say. Let's check out her brows. Whoops. So if I rub, not getting too much there, a little bit of change if I rub to try to get these eyelashes and eyeshadow to appear. Not really much of anything. Rub on the blush area, not too much there either. And her fingernails appear to still be painted, so I'm gonna kind of rub some there and see if we get anything, and you don't really. So now I'm gonna do the hot water test again with her and see if we can, what we can do here. And so really, she's not really functional anymore either, I would say. She's had it. And she was, again, you know, I say she was mine, I say she wasn't mine since I was a child, but honestly, I mean, she was. My great-grandmother found her in the yard, so she was also not stored in any sort of temperature controlled. She moved around with me from place to place and lived in the attic. So she is no longer functioning makeup-wise, but I still think she's really pretty. She's all wet now. I just realized that, poor girl. I just think the faces are so sweet and the little fashions are so cute. They're just quintessentially 90s dolls that girls of my age grew up with and that we all loved, and I think everybody had one. All right, so let's try out Little Miss Dress Up, and I believe that she is gonna function a little bit better because I've sort of played around with her some, and I watch her not behave for the video, but I've played around with her some and she seems to work pretty well. So I'm gonna tilt her back, and she's already, her makeup's really bright as it is. So I'm gonna rub some ice on here and see what we can get going with her. And she might already be, what's the word I'm looking for, fully engaged here with this. You can just kind of see how that makeup and all those eyelashes show. And then let's test her. So we put the blush, and that's kind of already showing here. And then I'm gonna do her fingernails, and let's see if she's got any. They'll change for us. And looks like they're not going to. So maybe that's just luck that her face paint just happens to be sort of frozen in makeup on. Because my other girls, their face paint is frozen makeup off, and she might be frozen makeup on. But let's try this. Now I did get this swatch of hair to change colors before when I first cleaned her up. So it changes from blue to pink, and I can't remember which cold, cold makes it blue or pink, but it looks like the cold is making it quite blue. This is the ice cube I'm rubbing across here. And so now let's use a dab of hot water. I'm gonna run this across her face and see if we can get the makeup to sort of subside. And it doesn't really, so it maybe faded a little here. And like I said, this is something when I was a kid I never had a lot of patience with, was messing with the makeup because I couldn't get it to change fast enough. It didn't change with the magic flick of the wand like they showed in the commercial. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to try to heat this hair up, and you can see it does go pink. As soon as that hot water touches that swatch of hair, it immediately turns pink. See that? So from blue to pink, the hair swatch does still work. And it kind of gets this nice, you got this cute ombre effect here. As you see, it's still a little bit bluish purple at the top and then changes to pink. So I think she was a great find. And I really love these dolls. I would love to add one of each kind. There's been so many. They have a Magic Jewels one, and they have all these different dress-up ones. And there's a Brazilian version made by the Australia company that's called Magic Face instead of Little Miss Makeup. So I'd love to get my hands on those. But what do you guys think about them? Did you have a Little Miss Makeup growing up? And is it something that you would want to have in your collection now, or that you would want to add back to your collection if it's something that you no longer have? And like I said, definitely these are dolls that are not very expensive. I mean, you can find them on eBay, you can find them at flea markets and thrift stores, but they're really sweet dolls, and I think they have a lot of collectible appeal and a lot of value in a collection just from a doll appreciation standpoint. So I can definitely see myself adding some more of these dolls to my collection. And I'm gonna leave you on this note. I'm gonna show you a few of the photographs from the Mattel 1990 toy catalog. I bought a copy of the catalog, and I've taken some scans, and I'm gonna leave you with some photos from that just so you guys can have a look at it. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you as always for watching. See you next time.